Ma'am, there's a lot of attention, of course, in the Asia-Pacific region for your visit here and the earlier port of call. I wanted to ask you, what is your assessment of the Chinese threat in the Asia-Pacific region, and do you see India as a key player to counter China?
You know, I've grown up in Hawaii and I've spent a lot of time in different countries across the Indo-Pacific region, and so understand at a deeply personal level the importance of this area for my country. And also, I think just as importantly, in understanding the complexities that exist within the histories of each of these countries, India and China, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, the United States, of course. So what I appreciate about President Trump and his approach, and some comments that I heard Prime Minister Modi make recently, is they are very practical and they are pragmatic and are looking to strike that balance that will allow us to hopefully prevent any kind of conflict. Obviously, as it relates to China, there are challenges. There are also opportunities. And we have two leaders of two very important countries who will play a very central role in taking on those challenges, resolving issues where they exist, and also maximizing any opportunities. The goal, of course, that we all share is to achieve peace, to increase prosperity, and to ensure stability and security for both of our peoples, but in the region as well.
Ma'am, when you took over, there was a lot of attention to what people said that you were a sharp critic of US forever wars and regime change wars. But you also said, and I'm going to quote you, you said, when it comes to the war against terrorists, I'm a hawk. How does the Trump administration see the repeated terror attacks on India from Pakistan?
You know, President Trump, through his first administration in the presidency, and it continues now, has been very clear about his commitment to defeating this threat of Islamist terrorism that has unfortunately plagued us, has and continues to pose a direct threat to the American people. But we see how it's been impacting people here in India, in Bangladesh, currently ongoing in Syria, Israel, and different countries in the Middle East. So this is a threat that I know Prime Minister Modi also takes seriously, and one where the leaders of our two countries will work together to try to identify and defeat that threat.
I'd like to pivot a little bit on the ISET initiatives. Do you see India and the US cooperating in the field of semiconductors and nuclear energy?
Yeah, you know, I think there's not really any bounds to where the United States and India are looking to cooperate. And once again, we saw the initial vision and goals laid out by Prime Minister Modi and President Trump in their joint statement that came from the meeting that they had there in the Oval Office at the White House. So there are a lot of different elements, of course, with the private sector and with our respective agencies as it relates to commerce, to see where those opportunities are, to see where there may be barriers to access, and see how can we best, once again, strengthen our mutual economic interests by moving forward together.
One question on dismantling of deep state assets that's being talked about a lot on social media. So I have a question on this. Everybody's watching that, especially the firing of U.S. intelligence involved in inappropriate chats. I have to ask you, were they involved in regime change matters in India?
I can tell you, to my knowledge, the answer is no. I think what you're referring to, unfortunately, was an incident that came to my attention where for an extended period of time, we had intelligence professionals who were using an intelligence-based chat network to conduct highly unprofessional and sexually explicit conversation. This not only violates the basic professionalism that we expect of all of our government employees, but it really violates the trust specifically around those, the trust that the American people need to have in our intelligence professionals. So, you know, in my role as Director of National Intelligence, this is one area that is my singular priority when it comes to ensuring that our intelligence community is focused on its core mission of securing our country, seeking out the truth and reporting that truth so that our president can make the best informed decisions. So anything else that distracts away from that, we want to get out of the way, whether it's these inappropriate chat rooms or the more serious threats that we've seen of the weaponization and politicization of our intelligence to undermine really the fabric of our democratic republic.